is the Sri Krishna. And Vrindavan is the place where he sported 5,000 years ago and performed his leelas, his pastimes of love, prem, keli. Always playful. Every soul within this world is an eternal part and parcel of Krishna. Every soul is meant to have an eternal relationship with Krishna in divine love. And this relationship can never be broken eternally. But now, within this material world, we have been covered over. The eternal consciousness of our soul has been covered over by matter. And we are misidentifying ourselves with this gross material body made out of earth, water, fire, air, like this. But actually our essence is our eternal conscious being. And that eternal conscious being has a very beautiful spiritual form, a divine spiritual body, full of bliss and full of knowledge, with very beautiful features, eyes, fingers, hands, hair, and dress. And every living being has the opportunity to have this relationship with Krishna revived and fully manifested within their hearts. So, by coming to Vrindavan, to this land of love, the place where Bhagavan Sri Krishna displayed the supreme pastimes of love, he invited all living entities. By performing these pastimes and displaying them to the world, he was inviting everyone to come and to take part with him in these eternal pastimes of love. Everyone wants love. In this material world, everyone is searching for love. They are searching for that relationship which will completely fulfill their heart. But actually, the only thing that will fully fulfill the heart of every Jiva soul is their eternal relationship with their eternal loving friend, Sri Krishna. So those devotees who come here to Vrindavan, this is their highest aspiration. They have understood this truth, this eternal truth of the soul and of the Supreme Soul. And they want to progress as quickly as possible in creating this relationship with Krishna. So therefore they come to the holy Dham. Our Gaudiya Vaishnava Acharyas, they have all come here. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Radha and Krishna himself in the form of a devotee, has come here himself to also teach us the importance of Vrindavan. And by coming here, then one day in our life, we may be able to revive that relationship with Krishna. And in that condition, there will be no material problems, no material illusion, no material pains and anxieties. Only a life of divine love and bliss and happiness in Krishna's divine abode with his eternal associates. That is the meaning of Vrindavan. And anyone who can come here to Vrindavan and to walk around the 12 forests of Vrindavan on the Brajmandala Parikrama, they are the most fortunate souls in the universe. And it is sure and certain, by the blessings of Sri Narada Muni, when he requested Krishna that, "O Krishna, please give me the benediction that anyone who comes to your holy places of pastimes and worships those places in the association of pure devotees and hears about those pastimes, then those pastimes will one day manifest within their hearts and they will attain Krishna Prema." So this is our goal, our highest aspiration, and this Brajmandala Parikrama has been performed for that purpose. We're very happy that we could associate with all of you on this journey, and we invite you to come personally to visit this land of Vrindavan and experience the sweet taste of the pastimes of Krishna as he performed through his childhood and youth here in Vrindavan. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Where to find this strength? To tread the exalted path of divine love, we need knowledge, support, and strength from someone who is already situated on that path. A person who falls into a deep well can only be saved by one who is fixed on safe, firm ground above and able to lower a rope. Similarly, we can only be saved from our suffering condition by one who knows and understands the essential truths of life. In fact, there is no other way out of our dilemma. We must make it our priority to find such a person. With this desire in our hearts, most assuredly, that representative of God will soon come before us. Our only requirement is to be greedy enough to meet such a personality, and then by divine arrangement, we will be led to him or her very quickly.
Actually, any of the Western devotees who have the opportunity to come here to Vrindavan, to go on a very nice boat trip on the river Jamuna, this is really by the mercy of one very great spiritual personality who mercifully came to the Western countries to teach everyone about Krishna, and that is our beloved spiritual master, His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada gave us originally the summary study of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of Krishna book. There, he very sweetly presented, in a very simple way, the pastimes of Krishna from the 10th canto. And devotees all over the world have read this book and become familiar with Vrindavan through the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada introduced us to the chanting of Krishna's holy names and this Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. He introduced this Maha mantra all throughout the world and gave the chance for everyone to purify their hearts and to gradually one day come to Vrindavan, the land of love. So we are bowing down millions of times at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and also of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, who has again brought us here to Vrindavan and revealed to us more secrets and significance about the pastime places of Radha and Krishna. So by the mercy of these great Rupanuga Acharyas in our line, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, who also gave these wonderful teachings to the Western countries in the English language, we owe such a great debt to them. It is never possible to repay. Gaur Premanand.
So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was always staying in the evening time at Akrur Ghat when he came here to Vrindavan. And from Akrur Ghat, he would come to Imlital every day, and he would sit there underneath that Imlital tree, and he would be completely immersed and absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. Krishna, chanting Harinam until the late part of the day. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would wander all around this whole Vrindavan area. Also he would do this parikrama around Vrindavan. And he came to this very place here where we are sitting. This is Chaitanya Baitak and also Vishram Vat. Because here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat and he took rest. So we can see this deity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in this small little house here underneath this tree. So when we do this parikrama, then we remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, as Srila Bhaktivedanta has told in his very beautiful song which we sing on Ekadashi days, that I want to go in the association of Pranai Bhaktas. Jai Sabastani Heribo Ami Pranai Bhakta Sanghe. In the association of loving bhaktas, devotees, who are fully immersed and absorbed in the pastimes of Radha and Krishna and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in their association, I want to go wandering to all of Gaur Amar Jesa Bastani, Korala Brahmana Rangi, where Mahaprabhu performed all of his sweet pastimes immersed in the mood of Radha Bhav, taking the golden complexion of Srimati Radharani and coming here to Braja Vrindavan and remembering all of these pastimes. So as we perform this Panchkosi Parikrama, we should also be thinking that just like when you want to tie something around a package that is very dear to you, so as we are performing the Parikrama, you should think that you are now tying your heartstrings to this very Braja Vrindavan, this very dear place where all the Goswamis came, all of our Acharyas came, and Sri Krishna and all of their associates sported here. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, in this way, performing this parikrama, not like tourists, but actually worshipping Vrindavan, and thinking as we circumambulate the entire Vrindavan that we have created one complete rope around Vrindavan, that we will take this Vrindavan in our hearts with us, wherever we go throughout the world, wherever we are living, and we will try to capture Vrindavan within our heart, and in this way, as Paramadraitan Maharaj very nicely told, then we can have the inspiration to distribute this Vrindavan mood to the whole world. Gaura Premanande Hare.
That this is the real me. That I want this mood of Srimati Radharani. I want to sing her glories. I want to inundate the whole universe with the glories of Srimati Radharani. This is also the responsibility of those persons who follow in the footsteps of Srimad Mahaprabhu and accepting the Arunavastra, accepting the saffron cloth, accepting this mood and moving into the preaching of the glories of Krishna consciousness, of the glories of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established the Tridandi Sannyas, the Tridandi Bhikshu Sannyas, after the great teachings that have been come down for so many thousands of years. Srila Gurudev has given this information in his 5 essays book about the ancientness of the Tridandi Bhikshu Sannyas. And he gave this under the order of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. This is Bhaktivedanta Bhara. Srila Bhakti Goswami Maharaj gave one song about Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta, in which he told Bhakti Vinod Dara Jala Shankara that this Dara of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur is the water flowing from the Shank in the arti to Srila Prabhupada. And he said, Roda Nahiyar, there is no stopping the flow of this Bhaktivedanta Dara. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Trivika Maharaj in his Arti song in praise of Srila Bhakti Pragyan Maharaj told that Sri Vinoda Dara Thaila, that this oil in the Panchapradeep lamp being offered in the Arti to Srila Bhakti Pragyan Maharaj, that this Thaila, this oil, this is the Bhaktivedanta Dara, which is illuminating the knowledge of the transcendental knowledge of Krishna consciousness to everyone. And what is this Bhaktivedanta Dara? Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, in one poem that he wrote, says, Radha Pada Virakabu Krishna Nahimi. No one can obtain Krishna without worshipping the feet of Srimad. It is not possible. Radha Dasira Krishna Sarva Vedi Vole. All the Vedas declare that Krishna becomes purchased by the maidservants of Srimati. So this is the glorious teachings that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has brought to us in his Sannyas Leela. This is the Bhaktivedanta Dara which has been given. But something more special. Just as Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta brought this Bhaktivedanta Dara, just as Srila Bhakti Pragyan Maharaj, my Srila Prabhupada Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sri Maharaj, all of them brought the flow of this Bhaktivedanta Dara. Now, Roda Nahiyar, under the guidance of Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj, the Bhaktivedanta Dara is being poured all over the world. By the mercy of Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, we've come to this very prominent place in Sri Braj Mandala, Bandir Vat. This is in the forest of Bandir Van. And in Braj Mandala, there are 12 forests, Dwadasha Khanam. Now we are beginning, turn the speaker up a little louder, turn the speaker up. Now we are beginning our parikrama to all the very far distant places of Braj Mandala. And the eastern side of the Jamuna River, this area here is the area of Baladev Prabhu. Therefore you see when we entered into this area, there was a Dauji Mandir. In every place, all the different Leela Sthalis on this side of Jamuna River, you will see Dauji, Baladev Prabhu, Mandirs, because he is prominent in this part. And on the opposite side, this is for Krishna. Krishna is prominent there. So, in this place, Bandir Vat, actually this platform here that you see, and by the way, no one should be sitting on this platform, no one should be standing on this platform. Gurudev, every time he comes here, he says this is very sacred, and no one should be sitting or standing on this platform. When we came here years ago with Srila Gurudev, there was no platform here actually, and this has been constructed by Srila Gurudev himself to commemorate this holy place, so that it is restored to some original
of purity. So this place is very important because you know that in the Vrindavan Ashtakam of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he explains that the forest of Vrindavan, the forest of Vrindadevi, where Srimati Radhika is absolutely the queen of this forest. So it is said that the forest of Vrindavan has 3 different corners. One is this place, Bandirvat. Another is Govardhan, and another is Rasa Stali in Vrindavan, where Vamshivat is. So, but actually, Vrindavan, it is unlimited, because it is the transcendental spiritual world. So although we are traversing here and there, going here and there on buses and such, but actually we are here in the eternal Nitya Dham, which Sri Krishna has manifested here on this worldly plane. So this place, Bandirvat, it is filled with transcendental pastimes, and every single place that we will be going to in this Brajmandala Prikrama, every dust particle of Brajmandala has the potency of all the eternal pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So we should very carefully bow down in all of these places and take the dust on our heads. This place, you see here that there is an altar, and you see a picture of Radha and Krishna exchanging garlands. Because in this place, this is a famous place of the Gandharva marriage of Radha and Krishna. But actually, the cowherd boys in Krishna, they used to come here in the middle part of the day. And Mother Yashoda, she used to send their lunch packets, and all the other mothers of Vrindavan used to send the lunch packets for all the cowherd boys. And here in this place there was a huge banyan tree which extended, the branches extended across the Jamuna River. Now the Jamuna is not flowing here, but in that time it was flowing just here. And the cowherd boys, they used to climb across on the branches of this great banyan tree, and they used to play so many games. It was very cool, very sweet here. All the cuckoo birds, all the beautiful parrots, all the different birds and animals of Vrindavan used to come underneath this tree and rest in the very cooling shade of this tree. And it was a very dense forest in this area. It was so dense with beautiful kadamba trees and such that only dim light from the sun would shine through and rays. So in this way, the atmosphere here was very, very pleasing. So Krishna and the cowherd boys, they used to come here and take their meals, and they would sit in big circles. And the amazing thing is that everyone would surround Krishna in a circle after circle after circle, but every single cowherd boy, he would think, I am personally having my breakfast here or my noon meal with Krishna. So Krishna is the absolute center of all existence. Therefore, anyone who takes Krishna deep within their heart, as all the Vrijvasis have done, they will feel that Krishna is personally with them at every single moment. So they used to laugh and play so many games here while they were taking their meals, and even the demigods would look down from the heavenly planets in absolute astonishment to see this amazing pastimes of Krishna taking his lunch here. So also one day when Krishna was here, he was just a little boy at that time, and Nanda Maharaj had accompanied Krishna to this place in the forest. But as they came to this area, suddenly Nanda Maharaj noticed that in the sky there was very dense clouds gathering. Very huge rainstorm was just about to come, and Nanda Maharaj was thinking what to do. Then suddenly, to his utter amazement, Srimati Radhika, Kishoriji, dressed in absolutely beautiful decorations from head to toe, she suddenly appeared there in front of Nanda Maharaj, and with her hands outstretched, she motioned to Nanda Maharaj to give Krishna into her hands. So suddenly Nanda Maharaj, in astonishment, let Krishna go into the hands of Srimati Radhika, and then Srimati Radhika disappeared into the dense forest. So in this very place, this is where she came. And at that moment when she came here, Sri Krishna, who was just a little boy, suddenly he manifested his teenage form, his eternal form of Nitya Nava Yogana, as 16 years old, beautiful Kishore form. And all the gopis gopis also appeared here in this place, the Astasakis and all the gopis, very beautifully decorated. And now there was a beautiful pastime that took place here, which was the Gandharva marriage of Radha and Krishna. They had this desire to enact such a pastime, although Radha and Krishna, you know, they are not married. There is eternally parakiya ras in their pastimes. But just like children play together, and sometimes children play, let's play marriage, and they play like they're getting married, so Radha and Krishna also manifested such a playful pastime here. Lord Brahma, understanding the desire of Radha and Krishna, he appeared here, and Lord Brahmaji himself became the head priest for the ceremony, and he conducted the ceremony of Radha and Krishna's Gandharva marriage. So therefore you see this mandap and this altar here, how Radha and Krishna, they're exchanging garlands, because this is the Gandharva method of marriage.
What is true love? Since the beginning of time, the soul has been crying piteously for love and affection. Love is the most powerful force in the universe, and we all crave to taste it somehow or other. We don't want to experience it temporarily, but instead want to relish it forever. This, in fact, is our birthright. We can experience so much of life, while our most central need, the need to love and be loved, remains unfulfilled. Love's power is unimaginable. The attraction of love is the most fundamental and formidable element found in every circumstance in the world. All else can be eliminated and forgotten if we come in touch with true love and affection. When one questions or challenges the principle of love, one has to accept defeat. Love is the most substantive principle. The key to understanding the difference between the two types of bliss mentioned above, one achieved from impersonal liberation and the other attained by devotion to God, is to appreciate the nature of love. Since to love is a verb, it is implied that we must consider whom to love. The bliss derived by achieving impersonal liberation comes from the cessation of misery, which provides a peaceful state of consciousness, free from gross material desires. However, this state cannot be called love, and really it has nothing to do with love. In it, the heartfelt warmth of a loving relationship does not exist. The highest state of absolute and pure love can truly exist only between the soul and God, both of whom are eternal personalities. Our present nature, which has been conditioned by countless births, drives us to exploit God's energy for our own ends and has denied us an acceptance of His beautiful, personal presence. This is because we seek our own power and glory in life. This material endeavor usurps the rightful, central place in our lives of that most precious, wonderful personality, God. This misfortune leads us away from a spiritual, theistic path to an impersonal, atheistic one, where all-encompassing love is replaced by all-dominating fear. The sincerely inquiring seeker, however, can only be misled for so long. Sooner or later, he will raise his head and inquire as to the reality of eternal love.
during the Kartik Vrat, doing the Kartik Parikrama under the guidance of His Divine Grace, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaja. During this Kartik Vrat, we celebrated the disappearance day of all Vishnupad, Paramahansa Brahmacharya Asatharasati Srimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. On that day, when we were remembering Srila Prabhupada here at the Giri Hari Gauriya, some questions came up about Srila Prabhupada's teachings of Vani and Vapu, where Srila Prabhupada always emphasized that the Vani, or the instructions that were given by the spiritual master in his books, are more important than the Vapu. We do not disagree with this concept at all. What people do not understand is that the instructions in the book are very clear about how one must associate and be under the guidance of a Brajrasi Vaishnava, a Mahabhagavata, a Prema Bhakta, in order to receive Krishna Prema, which is the ultimate goal of the practice of Krishna consciousness and devotional service. In the instructions of Srila Prabhupada's purports, there are many gems of wisdom in which he directs us to understand this concept very clearly. First of all, in the second canto, second chapter, 36th verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, in the purport, he describes the 9 processes of devotional service. In his description, he delineates all the 9 processes and says that one can become Krishna consciousness by practicing any one of or all of the processes of devotional service. However, he then states that of all the processes of devotional service, the most important process is that of Shravana, hearing. He then makes a very key point where he states that unless one has heard sufficiently and properly means under the guidance of a Mahabhagavata, a Prema Bhakta, hearing from the lotus lips of the pure devotee. And sufficiently means until one at least achieves the stage of Bhava, at which point the person can make rapid advancement in Krishna consciousness without always being directly under the guidance of a Mahabhagavata who is manifest. And yet, even in that condition, and even in the condition of a greatly exalted pure devotee, one always seeks out the association of the Mahabhagavata and always seeks out the transcendental sound vibration from his lotus lips. He does this in a letter that he wrote to Punjabi Premananda. And in that letter, he said, hearing the Bhagavad Gita from the realized soul and reading the Bhagavad Gita of the realized soul is the same. Then, in the next sentence, he qualifies. He says, hearing is better, more effective. The word assimilation is a very key word. So Prabhupada in his translation process was extremely careful about using particular English words to explain the concepts that he was trying to get across. The word assimilation in the dictionary indicates the transformation of food into living tissue. So the process of assimilating the knowledge of the revealed scriptures is to transform that knowledge into the living spiritual experience. Transform that knowledge into the living transcendental experience of the ecstatic moods of devotional service. Here, Srila Prabhupada very clearly indicates that the assimilation of the knowledge of revealed scriptures means that one is brought to the bhava stage. Now, being brought to the bhava stage, or the platform of ecstatic love of Godhead, which is the preliminary stage of prema, this process takes place, this assimilation takes place by constantly hearing the transcendental sound vibration from the lotus lips of the pure devotee. Because this is the first and most important process of devotional service. The process of bhakti yoga dissolves this subtle body. When the pure devotee speaks, because the lotus feet of the Lord are situated within the heart of the transcendental body of the pure devotee, then that transcendental sound vibration carries with it the aroma of the saffron particles which are on the lotus feet of the Lord. And so he says in this verse, I only want to hear this transcendental sound vibration from the lotus lips of the pure devotees. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that this transcendental sound vibration, which carries the aroma of the saffron particles from the lotus feet of the Lord, it may appear to sound, the voice of the spiritual master may appear to sound like an ordinary material sound vibration. But he says, because of the aroma of the saffron particles from the lotus feet of the Lord, which are being carried on that sound vibration, then it is empowering the sound vibration to become a transcendental sound vibration. And as a transcendental sound vibration, it acts upon the subtle material body within the living entity, dissolving it and revealing his spiritual form. When the spiritual master speaks, Srila Prabhupada said, this appears like a material sound vibration from the voice box. In one lecture, he said, I'm speaking. He was trying to give an example of how Krishna says that I pervade this entire universe and yet I am not here. So he said, an example of that is I'm speaking and the tape recorder is recording my voice. And you're hearing my voice later on when you turn on the tape recorder. But yet, I am not present there. He, the spiritual master, the pure devotee, is not present when you hear the message on the tape recorder. What does that mean? It means that the aroma of the saffron particles, that subtle sound vibration, can never be captured by any material device. A tape recorder, a camera, or any other recording device cannot capture the subtle transcendental vibration of the aroma of the saffron particles. It is impossible, nor can it be placed in the printed word. It is again impossible. These things are not possible. How can it be received? It can only be received from the lotus lips of the pure devotee. So, does that mean we shouldn't read books or listen to tapes anymore? No. What it means is that one has to be under the guidance. One has to be under the shelter. One has to be anugatya. When one is under the guidance and under the shelter and is anugatya, then automatically, when you listen to the tape recorder, when you read the books, then strengthen that knowledge into your consciousness by the seeds of the aroma of the saffron particles which have been placed there when you heard the living sound vibration from the voice of the pure devotee. He says there that neophyte devotees who are in the preliminary stages of Bhaktivedanta are by nature or naturally inclined to be envious. He says in that purport that even if they chant the holy name continuously, still they cannot properly taste it. He says that this problem can be remedied by the association of a pure devotee. The progressive march on the path back home, back to God, is achieved as one receives spiritual instructions under the guidance of a realized soul. What is the importance of the pure devotee, or what is the meaning of his being manifest or unmanifest? We have already heard that the Supreme Personality of Godhead resides within the heart of the spiritual body of the eternally liberated souls, the Nityasiddhas and Sadhana. So when Krishna manifests on this planet and brings all of his pastimes, associates, paraphernalia, etc., and then he leaves and he becomes unmanifest, how is this planet maintained without Krishna's presence? It's maintained by the sadhgurus, where Krishna is manifest within their heart. The manifestation of the sadhguru, the Mahabhagavata, is the manifestation of Krishna. Krishna's manifest presence is there in the heart of the sadhguru. And we can receive that manifest presence within the heart of our spiritual body as our subtle material body is dissolved and our spiritual body manifests. Initially, we get Nishtika Diksha, where we get the Harinam and we get the Brahman thread, and we're given Diksha mantras to meditate on. As the process of devotional service is practiced properly under the guidance of the pure devotee, and we have heard sufficiently and properly, and our subtle body becomes dissolved, and our spiritual body starts to become manifest, then what happens is we get the real picture. In essence, Srila Prabhupada is the pure and completely devoted disciple of Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati. And Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur states in his Upadeshamala, which is his ultimate advice, that Krishna's darshan can only be achieved as one hears Hari Katha through the ear from the lips of the Shuddha Vaishnavas. There is no other way. So in this statement, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur makes it absolutely clear that there's only one way to achieve Krishna's darshan, by this process, hearing Hari Katha through the ears from the lips of the Shuddha Vaishnavas. To think that Srila Prabhupada would give any other ultimate instruction within his books and his purports is to make Srila Prabhupada an offender to his spiritual master and to the teachings of the Parampara. The decisive final instruction is that if one wants to assimilate the knowledge of revealed scriptures, then it can only be done through the process of hearing and explaining them under the guidance of a realized soul. Krishna's darshan can only be attained as one hears Hari Katha through the ear from the lotus lips of the Vishuddha Vaishnavas. There is no other way. This is Prabhupada Vani, Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Vani, and Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Vani. This is the Vani that is in the books of Srila Prabhupada, of the previous acharyas, all the way to the teachings of Lord Chaitanya as enunciated by Rupa Goswami and Radha. One who does not follow this Vani will never be able to achieve the transcendental realm of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much.
We have now come here to Sri Gokul Mahavan. This place is the place of unlimited Vatsalya Prem, pastimes with the mood of parental affection. This is the very place that we are sitting here, where the house of Nanda Maharaj, Nanda Bhavan, was situated 5,000 years ago. You see this temple here. This is Chaurasi. It has 84 different pillars in this temple. It is a replica of the original house of Nanda Maharaj, and it is also very, very ancient, very old. For thousands of years, devotees have come here to this place, and they have become absorbed in remembering the pastimes of Krishna in his childhood, in his Pauganda, in his Balya Leela. So here in this very place, when the evening, in the middle of the night, when in Mathura, Vasudeva and Devaki were able to have the darshan of Krishna as their son with 4 arms, Vasudeva Krishna, and at that time, simultaneously here in this very place in Gokul, in the maternity room just here, Mother Yashoda was surrounded by the elderly gopis, and from her very womb, Sri Yashoda Nandan Krishna took his birth. And at that time, all of the residents of Gokul became very, very joyful. But this was late in the evening time, and Mother Yashoda was very tired from giving birth to a child, and by Yogamaya potency, she fell asleep. But she was not able to understand that actually she had given birth to a baby boy and a baby girl, twins. So when Vasudev came from Mathura, carrying Krishna on his shoulders, and brought him here, crossing the river Jamuna, and brought him here to Gokul, then at that time everyone was sleeping, and Vasudev was able to enter into the maternity room, and there he saw the baby girl. But by Yogamaya potency, he was not able to see that actually Nandanandan Krishna, Yashodanandan Krishna, he had taken birth there, and when he entered into the maternity room, that Vasudev Krishna, who is an expansion of the original Krishna, he entered into the body of Yashodanandan Krishna. So Vasudev, he came and placed the baby next to Mother Yashoda, and then he took in his arms the female child, and again he left and went back to Mathura. So there, of course, when Kamsa came at that time, in the morning he heard the crying of a baby, and he entered into the prison house, and there he saw a baby girl. Then he was thinking, but it was supposed to be, the 8th child was supposed to be a son. Then at that time he decided, anyway, I will kill this child, and he took the child by the legs and tried to dash the child to the stone, but the child flew out of his hands into the sky and manifested the form of Durga, because this was the internal potency of Krishna who had taken birth at that time. And she told, you are very foolish, Kamsa. You do not know that actually the person who will kill you, he has already taken birth somewhere else. So So Srimad Bhagavatam is describing like this, that the inner understanding, the internal mood that has been given by all of our acharyas is that Krishna is eternally the son of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And this place, Gokul, this is the very birthplace of Krishna, not in Mathura. Some people think that Krishna was the son of Vasudeva and Devaki and only the foster child of Nanda and Yashoda. But actually we understand from our acharyas that the eternal Dham, the Nitya Dham, is called Goloka Dham or Gokula Dham. Goloka eva nivasati akilatma bhuto. There Krishna is residing eternally with Nanda Maharaj, Mother Yashoda, and all the cowherd people, gopas, gopis, cows, and all. So Krishna manifested that eternal divine abode of his, that transcendental eternal abode, manifested exactly here in this place. And here the childhood birth pastimes of Krishna took place. In the Nitya Dham, there is no actual birth of Krishna. There is only the conception that Krishna has taken birth from the womb of Mother Yashoda. But in this Leela, within the material world, when Krishna manifests his Leela here, Gokula Dham, in Gokul, then the actual birth of Krishna takes place. So this is called his Naravat Leela. Very human-like pastimes. And why human-like? Because filled with much more sweetness, madhurya. Everything about Krishna's pastimes was totally filled with sweetness. And this place, Gokul, it became inundated completely, as we are hearing every day from our Gurudev in his beautiful explanation of Damodar Ashtakam, that all of Gokul became completely overwhelmed with the bliss of Krishna's childhood pastimes. And the hearts of all the Brijvasis were always tasting and relishing the beauty of Krishna's divine form and his very sweet childlike pastimes. So Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, they relished all these pastimes. And Vasudeva and Devaki, they could not taste these pastimes. Therefore the real mother and father of Krishna is here, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. And if you ask any Brijvasi who is the father and mother of Krishna, they will never tell you that Vasudeva and Devaki are the real father and mother. Why? Because they were here. They witnessed with their own eyes how the child came from the womb of Mother Yashoda, how the umbilical cord was cut with a sacred ceremony. So in this way, this very place is the birthplace of Krishna. But of course, Krishna is eternal, transcendental, unlimited. He is Ananta, and his divine abode within the material universes. And when he completes his segment of pastimes here, within this universe, then he transfers just like a traveling road show. All of his associates go with him. His eternal Dham manifests, and they manifest in another universe, and these pastimes therefore are going on continually. Just like the sun, which manifests at a certain time during the day and sets, but at another part in this planet, they will see the sun, and when we cannot see the sun. So in the same way, Krishna's divine eternal pastimes are going on in universes all throughout the whole material creation. So this place is also the place where Krishna killed Putana when Krishna was very small boy, only some days old, just lying there like a tiny little baby. Then Putana Rakshashi, demoness, came here, but she was disguising herself in a very beautiful form. And in fact, she looked so bewilderingly beautiful that even Yashoda and even the elderly cowherd people, they saw her and they thought, oh, how divine personality has come. This was, of course, Yogamaya potency. Everything that's happening in Krishna's Leelas is by Yogamaya potency, his internal potency, not any effect from the Mahamaya potency. Only for Krishna's evolving his pastimes. So now Putana Rakshasi entered within the maternity room. She had smeared poison on her breast because she wanted to kill child Krishna. That was her occupation. She was a child killer. She would drink the blood of young children, and she was extremely powerful. Even Kamsa tried to defeat Putana previously, but she was as strong as 10,000 elephants, and he realized, I better make her my ally, because I may not be able to defeat her. So now he engaged her in his nefarious activities of killing all the young babies and children that had been born all throughout the entire area. So then when she came in, she speared her breast with poison and approached Krishna. At that time Krishna knew, he understood. Why? Because although Krishna is a tiny little baby, and although he is completely in the mood and completely overwhelmed in the bhav of being the son of Mother Yashoda as a tiny little baby, this is called mugdata, where he's like a child. He doesn't know anything. But at the same time, he is always Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is Sarvagyata. He knows everything. So at that time, Krishna understood through his Leela Maya potency that this demoness had come to kill him. So Krishna closed his eyes, and when the demoness came close, she pushed her nipple into the mouth of Krishna, and Krishna immediately took hold of her breast very tightly and began sucking on her nipple. So he sucked out the poison, and then he began to suck out her very life force. And as Putana Rakshasi began to realize that her life force was leaving her body, she began to scream very loudly. She began to attempt to push Krishna, baby Krishna, off from her breast.